Howdy. Let's hear from Michael Platt, neuroscience professor and Big Think.
Michael Platt is a professor of neuroscience, marketing, and psychology whose research demonstrates how our perception of brands influences our decisions.
There's an idea in marketing, which is that we relate to brands in the same way we relate to people. It's like, I love this brand, or I hate this brand. Of course, what people say, right, can often be different from what's really going on in their heads. So we thought, well, why don't we just ask the brain directly?
Michael and his team observed the brains of iPhone users and Samsung Galaxy users with an MRI machine, while they heard good, bad, and neutral news about Apple and Samsung.
Apple customers showed a brain empathy response toward Apple that was exactly what you'd see in the way you would respond to somebody in your own family.
Strangely, Samsung users didn't have any positive or negative responses when good or bad news was released about their brand. The only evidence that Samsung users showed was reverse empathy for Apple news, meaning if the Apple headline was negative, their brain reflected a positive response.
It really shows us that Apple has completely defined the market here. Samsung customers, it seems, from their brain data, are only buying Samsung because they hate Apple.
The kicker? The Samsung users didn't report feeling the results their MRIs showed. What was happening in their brains and what they reported feeling towards Apple and Samsung were totally different.
Most people just don't realize.
Wow, that is fascinating. And as he mentioned, over time, being exposed to different brands, we can really start to become part of a person's identity, where they will relate to that brand just like they do people. It's almost like a relationship, a part of who they are, who they're expected to be, who they want to represent. So that's pretty powerful. And even so much as that some brands can feel like family. And when folks are exposed to those experiences over time or interactions they have with those products or with, those companies, they can feel those very close bonds almost as if it is family. And in doing that, brands can truly, potentially change brain function, as we've seen in that study. And that can be from, exposure to those experiences or different messages. So it could be helpful, when you're looking at a commercial or looking to get information about a product, to keep that in mind to determine, is a decision being made from that emotion? And a lot of those kind of information bits that we may not be aware that we've been processing, or is it from logic, where it's making a choice for something that will benefit you in a way that's in your best interest. So it can be helpful to kind of use those skills sometimes. And if you're looking to think for yourself in those situations, it can be a helpful tool to apply, looking at that so that you're making the best decision for you.